Before we get to anything else, I will say this. A couple of years ago, I went on the old Kirk and Callahan program on 93.7 at the time, WEEI, and said after his first game that Tony Romo was the best color analyst I've ever heard. Mm-hmm. I texted Jerry last night and I said, "Is Tony Romo the worst color analyst I've ever heard now?" I watched the last 8 minutes of the game. I watched the last 8 minutes of the game.
Okay.
And I watched. Oh, did you watch the game?
So I saw the first half and overtime. I missed most of the second half.
Okay, so I watched the last 8 minutes or so in overtime, and I am now at the point where I'm actually rooting for the Patriots a lot more than I was like toward the end because I hated Brady, he hated me, whatever.
Okay.
Like, I like the fact now that they're kind of scrappy and like starting over. I like Mac Jones, and I'm kind of sort of half into it. I'll watch 8 minutes of a game.
They're the underdogs again.
Actually, you know what? My neck was hurting, but I actually pumped my fist when they had that touchdown to take the lead. I gave it the fist
very
pump.
exciting.
Like the Chris DeMarco, the big boom.
And then the devastation you must have felt at the end.
Well, that's the beauty of sports, isn't it? There's up and down.
Right.
Romo is fucking so. First of all, he didn't shut up. And secondly, he's a moron. I don't want to get too into it. Maybe we'll take some calls on it. But toward the end of the game, that final drive, in regulation, they convert that. They don't convert, but they make a big play on that 3rd and 25. First of all, Romo, if you remember, I don't know, is saying, "Jim, did they get both penalties for that?" I'm sitting there saying, "Well, no, what do you think it's going to be, 3rd and 60? Like, no, they don't." And they have to go. Nance doesn't know. They have to go to what's his face, the idiot,
Gene Steratore.
Gene Steratore, who's just says, "No, Tony, you idiot."
Yeah.
So they get what, a 24-yard play on that?
I think so.
Right. So it's 4th and 1. How long was the field goal to tie the game, Dave? Do you think we'd be doing this today?
No, I'm very surprised.
Let me look it up.
Yeah, but no recall you had. So there's like 30 seconds left, and Romo's like, "You think they're gonna go for it, Jim?" I'm like, "What the fuck are you talking about? You're down 3 points."
So I was looking for clips. I saw people saying they thought he was drunk.
I'll just say that if he was, my sources tell me it wasn't the first time in a public setting this week that he was.
Oh, really? He was having some fun out here. No idea.
Yeah. Won't give up my sources, but yes.
Oh, okay.
I saw something on Twitter too. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
Is that a 51-yarder? Am I reading this right? 51?
You reading it right?
I don't know. Did it tie the game? I know he missed one.
I think so. I think it was 51 yards.
It was a 51-yarder to tie the game.
Yeah.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah. But you don't think there's a debate? Like, they were kind of rolling at that point.
There's like 30 seconds left in the game. It's 4th down. They're down 3 points.
Yeah, but did they have timeouts? I can't remember.
They had 2.
All right.
He gets fired up. I just think he's an excitable source.
Yeah, but if you don't convert that, the game's over.
I know, but they were
Fine, whatever. Yeah. But then Romo's like, should they take a timeout or not? I'm like, well, they have 2 left. There's like 20. Of course they should. Like, what the fuck is he talking about? Like, in his mind, they're going to kick the field goal with 2 timeouts left in like 25 seconds. They're just going to waste those 2 timeouts. They're going to run the guy on the field and kick the fucking field goal. I'm like, what the fuck are we doing here?
Wouldn't it be kind of fun though if that's what was happening?
He was just drunk?
If he was just
great,
a Harry Carey in the booth.
But he's just terrible now. It annoyed me during the game. And I'm not one of these people. I hate these fucking people on Twitter who are like, Nance and Romo are rooting for the Cowboys. I'm like, they don't fucking. I know Tony Romo. He doesn't give a fuck.
That's been done to death.
Yeah,
like
McCarver and
they used to say Joe Buck. There was like a website for every team. Like Joe Buck hates team X.
Every team. And I would talk to Yankee fans, fellow Yankee fans, who would be like, fucking McCarver hates the Yankees. And Red Sox fans, it's stupid.
McCarver's just a moron.
Trust me. Tony Romo, I know he played for the Cowboys. He doesn't give a fuck who wins that game. You think he cares?
I can't imagine.
No, he's fucking half in the bag anyway.
But there might be guys, I'm sure he has a relationship with some guys in the Cowboys more than the Patriots.
Sure, but I'm sure
I don't think he really is devastated if they lose.
And did Belichick get like assaulted or something? What happened to him?
Something with his lip or whatever?
Did you see his nose?
Yeah.
A massive cut in his nose and his lip. I believe his son's a coordinator who makes faces. That's
correct.
Thing. Very funny.
Yes, I've seen that on Twitter.
Very funny. So anyway.
He was very playful with Courtney Cox when she asked about that.
Ooh, Coach Belichick?
Coach Belichick.
Just today?
This is this morning.
About his nose?
Yeah. Well, she didn't specify the nose, just that he was bleeding on the sideline.
Bill, during the game, it seemed like you were bleeding on the sideline. A lot of people, whether it was
Hold on, 1 second. I'm not going to give Courtney Cox any advice in broadcasting. She's doing very well on her own. You got to be a little more playful with this question, don't you think? She's saying it like a sideline reporter.
Like it's a dead serious question.
Like she's like Larry Merchant interviewing a boxer after a fight.
An assault victim.
Like again, the only thing I would say was Belichick brutal this morning or no?
Yeah, as always.
Like I at some points one of these guys has to say to them like, Bill, like we understand like you're kind of pretending you're really upset now, but can we just kind of talk like people?
Let's banter.
Yeah,
a little fun.
Go ahead. I'm sorry, Courtney. Go ahead.
Bill, during the game, it seemed like you were bleeding on the sideline. A lot of people, whether it was the broadcast fans, people that were at the game, watching at home, were worried about you. What was going on there?
Hold on. I don't think anybody was worried about him.
Oh, my dear. Oh, my goodness.
I said news from the East. It appears Mr. Belichick will not survive this lip injury. It appears to be chapping. We must invent some sort of device to take care of that.
Operator, get me Bob Kraft. Stat.
Concerned. I got a call, from my uncle. Hey, guys, you still know, you talk to the Kraft stalker, see if Bill's okay? I think he's dying.
My dad called me, actually.
Did he? Wow, is that serious?
Yeah, we saw.
Jesus.
No, I know. No, Apple's all right.
Go ahead.
Home, we're worried about you. What was going on there?
Yeah, I'll be all right.
All right, there you go.
That's it. Yeah,
That's fun.
Little Italian women in
I'll be
churches
all
all over New England. Oh, please. Please have Bill be okay. The only one left you can do.
We have to, any white accent, really. You could probably get away with German or...
Do you think your German's fine, right?
Yeah.
Irish.
Yeah, all
Yeah.
the whites.
Yeah. So Patriots 2-4, right?
Correct.
That's disappointing.
But, tick here, tick there. They're 4-2.
I know.
Tampa and the Cowboys,
I heard Romo and Nance say they could be 5-1 right now.
Yes.
Cool. It could be couldn't they be 1-5? I don't know.
It's hilarious I've never really done this where I've watched some of the game on TV and then gotten in the car and heard the broadcast say the exact same I'm watching. And Nance says, in the history of this rivalry, the Cowboys won the first 7 and the Patriots have won the last 6. We'll see how this one goes. Oof. I get in the car and Bob Socci says to Scott Zolak, Scott, in the history of this here rivalry.
Famous rivalry, sure. One of the most famous in
the
sports.
Cowboys won the first 7. The Patriots won the last 6. We'll see how this one goes.
It's almost like a press release gets handed out with all these numbers on it.
Seems like it, yeah.
That guy, Bob Socci, is awful, by the way. I love Zolak, but that guy, he sounds like the announcer in The Natural. He's terrible.
Isn't he the guy that said, he's like, I love broadcasting for the Patriots, but it's tough being away from my family.
Yep. Chad Finn wrote a whole story a couple of years ago. We did it on the air. I remember Jerry and I, where he was like, "It's just nice when the season's over. I can see my family again." The game's it's one game a week, and half the time it's at home.
I'm sure he does plenty of prep work on the other team, but my God, at what cost, Bob?
Robert, is that you? Have you come home again? 'Tis winter indeed. Yeah, the last 6 winters I came back and things were fine. We'll see if this streak continues this winter.
My dearest Evelyn.
I find myself in the Bay of Tampa today.
It's only been week 2, but it's been nearly a fortnight since I've seen you last.
I must go now and watch film of a linebacker. You're in the next room. Like you're in the house. You're home this week.
I pray this finds you well.
I'll be gone today. I'll arrive at the stadium at 10. I'll be home at 6. Raise the children without me. If I shall perish during this game, find another, but not one in this world of broadcasting.
How do you do it, Mr. S?
I wish I knew, kid. I wish I knew. The guy I go with that broadcast is, and God knows I love him, but it's a quiet call. Zolak stays out of the way.
Oh, yeah. That was fun. And it actually makes it enjoyable. If it was just Socci doing the game, it would be a bore fest. But there was one play where Mac Jones got the fumble, I think, when he got the ball knocked out of his hand. And the whole time Zolak's going, "Oh God, oh my God!"
I actually listened to some on Sirius when I went down to that my aunt's funeral last week, Sunday, the Texans game. Mm-hmm. And I was just listening to it laughing because Socci would be like, "All right, yeah, it's 3rd and 8. All right, Jones takes a snap. Oh, Jesus, what a dick! Jesus!" It's like that Deuce Bigalow scene where he's dating Amy Poehler.
I was thinking he should be on a national. He's more entertaining than more than half the other than Romo.
Dave's not going to like this, of course. We don't mention this guy's name much as his hero, but I don't see any difference between Zolak and Pat McAfee. Honestly, they sound the same to me. They're like the
more
same meatheads. I love Zolak.
I don't mind that. I don't mind that.
Their voice sound exactly the same to me.
I would say Pat McAfee's probably a little more focused.
Yeah,
which
probably.
is why he has the I don't know, empire or whatever you want to call it that he has. He has 10 million shows.
I know.
Zolak's tweeting about Felger and Maz.
I find him he does nothing for me. I mean, look, he's done great. I mean, so he wins. I'm just saying I don't understand it.
He's not bad. I liked his podcast. They used to do Heartland Radio, and they didn't talk sports on there really. And he wasn't the driving force necessarily?
January 28th, 2016, Mike. I'm sorry.
Okay.
Patriots voice Bob Socci takes loss hard.
Oh, God.
Chad Finn. So, this is after they lost to the, I think they lost to the Broncos that year, right? That was the Peyton Manning year, 2016?
Sounds right, yes.
Yeah, here it is, yeah. So, what does an NFL broadcaster do when the season ends so abruptly? Stare out the window and wait for September to come back around?
It doesn't say that.
That's a lead from Chad, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Well, I don't want to sound like Belichick and the players, but it's already on to the next season for me, said Bob Socci. Obviously, there's more time for my kids and my wife, more time for me to be a better husband, and I'm looking forward to that.
One of them has graduation in June, but I'm really looking right past that.
I have said
training
this
camp.
many times. There is no more fucked up group. You could put, you know, that when Jodie Foster walks down the road to Hannibal Lecter and Miggs throws cum on her face, that group is less fucked up than like any 6 play-by-play guys. They're the most fucked up people. Some of my friends, they're all fucked up.
Right.
They're all
Is
fucked.
Meter that
Meter
fucked up?
is definitely that fucked up.
Which is odd because they seem like the most straight-laced,
Sure.
stick-up-the-ass type of group.
But think of what they do for a living.
Yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, think of what they do for a living. They talk about what's going on in front of them. That's why I always say I'd be one of the 5 best play-by-play guys ever. I have no doubt about that.
Meaning you would revolutionize it, or if you stuck to
No.
being a straight
I would go.
play-by-play?
When I was a kid, I wanted to be a play-by-play guy.
Right.
In Billerica, I had tapes of my calling Celtics games, like pretend ones. I do pretend seasons. They exist somewhere. Someone will find them.
I did that for Nesson, some sort of competition like that.
Oh,
I
God.
Did it when
You
I was,
still have it?
No.
Oh, shit.
Both, but the people that filmed it are now dead. Both grandparents.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so God knows where
They
it
just
is.
killed themselves immediately.
Yeah, they couldn't. They could. The mere thought of a world where that would happen.
Mass shooting. But I'm already looking forward to next year. I'll sit down and evaluate what I thought went well, what didn't go well this past season, how I can get better, increase my knowledge about the game, understanding the league a lot better than I have in terms of the economics of it. So we'll just sit down and do that. Like, yep. All right. Time to think.
Got the old calculator out. He's thinking economics.
What can I do better? Can I do better? Well, get tomorrow. I guess we'll figure that out then.
Just got spreadsheets and charts and graphs.
Bob, come kiss your boy. He's 8 months old. You don't meet him yet.
I'm almost there, damn it. I've almost perfected this broadcast.
The suddenness of us. All right, so here you go. You get so used to the routine during the season, so she says. One game leads to the next, and the preparation is just continuous. Now, keep in mind, he calls one game a week.
Right.
Like, you know, I'm not here to blow baseball play-by-play guys. They call a game every night.
Yeah.
And it's like 7 hours every night.
Yeah.
Like, tonight's game is going to end at like 3 in the morning.
Well, they boosted up. He's now got 17 regular season games.
That's true.
So
Oh,
even if
you're
they don't
right.
make the
I beg your
playoffs.
pardon. You're right.
Yeah.
You get so used to your routine to that. Then all of a sudden, the 2-point conversion is passed. It's intercepted. The onside kick is recovered, and that's it. I thought I came to grips with it pretty well Sunday night.
Oh, you're so brave.
When we got home, and I walked in my beds and saw my kids. I walked in my house and saw my kids asleep in their beds. But the last couple of days, it's been kind of difficult because of the routine of the season being over. Now, keep in mind, like Monday and Tuesday for this guy, he's not doing anything anyways.
Oh, he's learning. He's studying.
He's watching like film and just like pretend. He doesn't know. This guy doesn't know shit about football. He's a play-by-play football guy.
I like to think after the last game of the season, janitor walks up to the booth to shut off the light. He goes, oh, Mr. Socci, is that you? Got to get the hell out of here. The game has been over for hours.
Ken, can I stay one more hour, please?
All right, but don't. I got nothing to do with it.
There's a very famous scene, or a very, very famous film, The Deer Hunter. I don't know if you've seen it or not.
I've not.
Dave, I'm sure you have not.
I have not.
Robert De Niro comes back from Vietnam, right? In a small town in Pennsylvania.
I think I'm familiar with this scene.
Yeah, and Meryl Streep, and they're having a big party for him. Like, he's coming back. He's finally coming home. But he's so hurt and worn down by the war that he kind of drives by the house or whatever, sees the party, and just goes in a little motel. He can't go back to that world yet. And that's essentially what you're seeing. I think Socci must stay at the End Zone Motel for 2 or 3 nights afterward. And just
Really unwind.
just decompress because
It's a slant tattle, man. Just in his hotel room.
Yeah. Also, where are we here? Socci said he was prepared for the ending during his first season of the Patriots booth when the team lost to a superior Broncos team in the AFC Championship game. Last year was a different story, Socci said, because the Patriots were playing the season finale no matter how it played out. The thing about calling a Super Bowl is, as we did last year, is there's a finale after that game. It's hard to argue with that.
That's true.
They've not done. Last time they did best of 7 Super Bowl was what, like 1976? It's been a while,
If
right?
that. Although they do have the Pro Bowl after, so maybe that could cleanse your palate now.
Where is it? Let me see here.
Actually, they don't anymore.
Socci cites Chiefs broadcaster Mitch Holitz, who's called one playoff win since becoming the team's play-by-play voice in 1994. This is before all of them home stuff. Or John Murphy. You think about that, and I try and count my blessings, said Socci. Although we're disappointed, it's been a blast from the start. We can't wait to do it again. Do I miss not speaking to my kids? Yes. Do I miss not speaking to my wife? Yes. Do I mind living alone during the season? No. It's my job. It's who I am.
It doesn't say that.
No, it doesn't say that.
Oh, thank God. Oh, God. Do I miss speaking to my kids?
Well, I mean, he shouldn't during.
That would have been great.
He shouldn't during the season because these kids will put these little like juvenile, like, what if they,
Yeah, no, he's got to be focused.
yeah, hey dad, during the game do some wacky, funny kids call or something. You
Yeah.
can't do that.
No, I've rewatched Better Call Saul recently,
Right.
and I'm at the part where they're building the lab. They got the Germans there building the lab, and Mike will, he'll let him talk to the wife, but you don't really get a lot of outside contact.
Definitely not. No, I think it
I think
ties.
that's a lot what it's like.
Where Socci stays, this ties into. We have a new advertiser, which we're going to talk about in a second. I'm excited about. This ties into the whole Better Call Saul family. Socci stays during the season in the place where Walter White went, where Robert Forster sent Walter White.
Oh, is that right? Up in New Hampshire.
Yeah. And Zolak will occasionally bring him some media guides and some glasses.
Will you stay with me, Scott?
Will you watch film with me? I'll pay you $10,000. Fine, one film.
Playing Go Fish.
Will you watch one linebacker run down the field? What a psycho. That's a psycho. Who's crazier, Finn or Socci there? Finn, right?
That's a good point. No, Finn is trying to spin a yarn. At least he's trying to tell you a story. Where Socci is, I'd be embarrassed to be a part of
I
that.
love Meter. I love him. It takes guts for me to say that, given what he did to Tommy Harper.
Right.
But Meter would. I think Meter would laugh at that. I have to believe that. I know the guy very well. He would laugh at this story.
As a guy who only knows him from listening to him, I think he would laugh at it if it's Socci, but it wouldn't
turn it down
shock me if he was.
Right.
Yeah, right. He would be a part of it.
I'll tell you the craziest play-by-play guy. The craziest is Sean Grandy. Nuts.
Really?
Nuts.
Nuts
yes.
in what way? I've heard he's an asshole.
Yes, that. But
Okay.
he's just like, just crazy. I remember I wrote an article for EI.com years when I was still writing, years ago. And I said Mike Gorman, who's like the exact opposite of this. Like
He's
he
the
would,
best. Yeah.
He's also a great guy.